So as I said in my last video, I got this bit of rust here I've got to contend with, but I'm going to do it properly and remove the skin from the frame. I explained in the last video that it's the best way to do it, so you can get all of the rust that's in behind here, make sure it's all gone, and also when you weld the new piece in, you can get at both sides of this panel to be able to plenish it back out flat again. So yeah, looks like someone's had a go at just filling up some of the rust holes with MIG welder. Got a nice whoop-de-doo there, but yeah, we're going to pull it apart and fix it properly. I'd really love a bigger workshop one day. Oh, so I'm not so cramped all the time. Once I've got the skin separated from the frame, it also gives me an opportunity to make sure there's an adequate amount of rust preventative coatings on the inside of the frame, so it never rusts out again. I'll have spot welds all along this seam here. I'll have to drill out. Got to find them first, so I'll get the wire wheel out and take some of that paint off. And also there'll be some along this seam here as well, at the back here. Not sure whether there's any spot welds, but it's folded over, so I'll have to get my de-skinning tool and fold that lip up gently without damaging it too much. So yeah, sounds like a lot of work, and it probably is, but it's worth the effort. Sorry. So, battery. Continuity helps of the power situation. So I've got the old def wheel, got my old PPE, because when these things fly off, they sting real bad. So I'm basically just looking for the spot weld so I know where to drill. So this is a spot weld drill bit. They're basically cut so they're flat across the top. A normal drill bit will have an angle, roughly, I don't know, 30, 45 degrees, maybe. Somewhere around that. I'm no expert, but yeah. Spot weld drill bits are cut flat so that they don't penetrate through the metal. You only want them to cut the one layer of metal. I usually drill a pilot hole first to make it easier, which I'm not sure what it is in America, but I use a 3mm drill bit usually. So first up, I'll drill a pilot hole. I usually use a 3mm drill bit, and you don't want to drill it any further than the first layer of metal.
spot weld drill bit. Closer look. And that's what you look for. It separated the spot weld from the skin, as you can see. There's a few that like to stick, so I'll just get hammer and chisel onto them. And this side. Done. Okay, that's the front separated. Now I'm just going to tip it on its side so I can see the spot weld along the side. Do the same. Due for another clean up, Charlie. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording.
So the main way that most people would do this is to get a chisel and hammer underneath the flange. The hard part is finding somewhere to start it. I reckon I'll start at this end because it's already lifted up a bit. So you just get your chisel under there and start lifting it up. Once you got it up a bit, you start levering it up. But you do it a little bit at a time the whole way along. But I'm just going to show you this part here. Once you got it up a little bit, can start hammering it up with a hammer and dolly. You do that the whole way along, a little bit at a time so you don't damage it. But what I do is I've got a specialised tool here. This part here hooks under the edge of the seam, and then the sharp bit here goes underneath the seam like so, and then you just pull it together and then bend it back again a little bit at a time. But these aren't that easy to find. Certain crash shop suppliers might be able to get them for you if they know what they're called. I don't even know what they're called. Just door skinning pliers. I don't know, something like that. But take a screenshot of this and take it to your local crash shop supplier, and then you can show them what they are. Yeah, very handy tool, but that's about $80 for that, so they're not cheap. Every time I walk out here and see that view, I get all warm and fuzzy inside. To me, that there is probably in my top 5 of my best looking cars that I could ever think of. I think the only thing I'd probably want over this would be a Ferrari GTO 250. That's not going to happen. But, you know, I'd say that to me this is the perfectly proportioned car. There's not anything that's out of proportion. I mean, people love E-Type Jags. They say they're the most beautiful car in the world, but I can't see it myself. I mean, particularly in the coupe version, they look like a bomb's gone off inside. They're just so bulbous around the back end that I don't like it. It's horrible. I reckon they're ugly as a hat full of arseholes. Not so bad in convertible, because they don't have that bulbous rear end, but yeah. I hate it when people say that these look like E-Type Jags, because they don't. They look closer to a GTO 250 Ferrari than they do an E-Type Jag, so yeah. I don't know. I like, another car I like is the C6 and C7 Corvette. I reckon they're a really nice looking car, but still, this is where it's at for me. Yeah. You see up in here where someone's had a go, you can see all the MIG wire that's poking through, and where someone's tried to weld up the rust holes. At least they had a go. So that's the rough cut of it. So she goes on there like that, and it's fitting pretty snug at the moment. But still got a little bit of adjustment to do, but it's getting a bit late to be bashing and crashing out here tonight, so I'm going to call it a night, and I probably won't be out here until Sunday. It's for, what is it, Thursday now. I've got some things to do for the next few nights, so I'll be out here again Sunday. I'll finish it off and weld it in. Yep, Sunday. No, it's not Sunday, it's Saturday, sorry. So today, it's already after lunch, but I want to get this bit welded into my bonnet. Hood, bonnet, whatever. But after I've done that, it's going to be a break from the 240Z for a little while, but for good reason. Out here, I have got a Datsun 620 ute cab. It's not mine, it's paid work. Just got to fix up some piddly little rust bits that are everywhere, but nothing major. But I'm going to do this on the weekends outside of my usual working hours, so I can get a jump start, because I've still got a bit of money to spend on the old 240Z before she's ready to go back on the road. First thing being the paint. Paint's going to be over $1,000 just for the paint, so yeah, work on the 620 out there will pay for the paint. Then I've got to organise some carbies for the L28 here. I do have the original, not original, but I have some SU carbies that are going to go on it for now. I'd like to go fuel injection eventually, but yeah, SU's on there for now. I have new shafts and bushing to go in the SUs to rebuild them, so that's another thing. And I've got to also organise a new clutch, because it doesn't have one. And the interior, it's got no interior whatsoever. I do have a dash, but it's very bad and cracked, so still got dollars to spend on the 240Z before it's done. So it means I've got to crack down and do some paid work on the weekends to help. Yeah. So on that note, I'm going to get this bonnet done, and then I'll get into that 620. So I got the piece of metal all tack welded in, and it's looking nice and flat as it is. Once I start welding it in though, it's going to warp, that's regardless. Going to weld it with the TIG welder in one constant weld the whole way across. Then afterwards I'll plenish it out again. But we're going to wipe down the weld with some acetone, the weld area with some acetone before I start welding, just to get rid of as many of the impurities as I can. And I'll also wipe down my welding rod, because they're getting a bit old, so they could be dirty. Okay. So it's all welded. Massive big whoop-de-doo there, but that's because this metal here has shrunk because it's been heated up so much from welding. Right around here it was like welding a Coke can, it was that thin, so it's a bit messy there, but the rest of it's come up pretty good. So now I'm just going to plenish this back into shape and grind it down, and I'll give you a look after I've done that. Anyway, that's it. It's all welded in and cleaned up. It's in the basic shape. It needs to be flattened out a little bit more. It's sitting on its frame at the moment, but yeah, it's not welded on. I got to dummy fit it to the actual car just to make sure that this corner gap's going to be fine before I weld it back to its frame. But that won't be for a few weeks because I've got to get stuck into the 620 there, so I can finish that off and get some money to buy some paint. Yeah, so I'm going to call it for this video. I'll come back in a week or so, see if I've got something else exciting to show you, but in the meantime, I've got to get stuck into this old girl. Hope to have it done within the next 2 weeks or so that I can move it on down the track and get some time back on the 240Z. So till then guys, I'll see you around.